there, Mrs. Klazart. What is your opinion on the portrayal of nuclear weapons? If Boxer wants to use nuclear weapons in this map, do you think that and he does have a nuclear silo up. You can see that building is a nuclear silo, and he's got a dropship there. That's a shuttle that can fly, and he's probably transporting something in it. But I think that's going to get intercepted now by Oden. This is going to be disastrous for Boxer. He lost his shuttle, and I think he had his ghost in that, which he needs to do the nuclear weapon. He's got another shuttle dropping, and I think once he loses this, he's going to be in terrible trouble. But if Boxer does use nuclear weapons, do you think that that's setting a bad example, considering the whole nuclear non-proliferation treaty, and do you think that it's sending the wrong message out to the public and to the world?
I mean, I suppose that if you're playing a game in which people are constantly at war and the whole purpose of the game is to win the war, then, you know, you could argue that the whole game itself is unethical. And if that's the case, you shouldn't be playing it. But if you're playing it, then you might as well play it properly and have all kinds of different weapons.
Well, while we're on that subject, what's your opinion of violence in video games? Are you a fan of video game violence? Or do you feel that it's harmful to children?
I don't know whether there has been any correlation between people playing violent video games and being violent in real life. I don't think that video games in themselves are enough to explain, you know, the violent tendencies in society today. I think it's probably a combination of factors.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of the fact that there's so much violence in films? Don't you think it's unfair for video games to get singled out? It looks like Boxer's making a push here now towards the 7 o'clock position. He's managed to take the lurkers out, and Oden's defense is a little bit sketchy. Boxer's just trying to buy himself time to try and sneak that Terran ghost in and be a little bit innovative. He's drawing Oden's forces out. He's going to get that ghost in. The question is whether Oden will find it in time to actually be able to take it off. And there's another expansion of Oden's that Oden has put in the mineral-only expansion. Boxer's now moving the ghost into range. I really don't think that this is going to be very effective for Boxer. He really does look to be in a lot of trouble. But looks like he's launching simultaneous attacks all over the place. Looks like he's getting a nuke launch, so we might see a nuclear attack here from Boxer at the 7 o'clock base. It's just a question of whether or not Oden seizes in time to intercept, and I think Boxer might have distracted Oden enough that he might be able to take that base down. I'm not sure if really that's going to make a difference, even if he does take that base down. Boxer does look like he's also taken the two, and the nuclear bomb is going to land. And what did you think of that massive carnage and destruction? Did you enjoy the sight of blood being splattered all over the computer screen, Mrs. Klazart?
Well, I suppose it did make the point that Boxer's attack in that particular area has been pretty successful.
But did you think it was spectacular? Did you enjoy it? Did it get your blood pumping?
Not particularly.
Did it perk you up?
Yeah, you make me sound like some kind of, you know, person who just likes to watch murder and mayhem, and that's not true.
Oh, Mrs. Klazart seems to be taking personal offense. Meanwhile, Boxer's also committed a drop behind enemy lines, and he's now bringing science vessels in. Looks like he's going to try and do some irradiate. I think Boxer might have lost a Scourge there, but he's irradiated alternately, so that seems to be trapped among the drones and killing loads of drones off his opponent. And even though Oden seemed to have a massive advantage in terms of his economy, Boxer seems to be holding his own quite comfortably here, Mrs. Klazart, and he's launching another attack now. Well, tell us what you see here in this attack.
I think it looks like he might be turning the tide of the game, because he certainly seems to be attacking a lot more. And I think that maybe it's Oden's turn to take the initiative and slow Boxer down and distract him a little bit. Maybe. Yeah, and he still seems to have that ghost hidden. That seems to have gone completely unnoticed for Oden so far. Boxer only with the one nuclear silo. But the problem for Boxer is that he really is quite outnumbered on the ground, and looks like Oden is now ready to make his move and turn his economic advantage into this massive army, which is now heading towards Boxer's base at the 3 o'clock position. I don't think Boxer's got anything to defend this, so he's going to be in huge trouble here. Massive attack coming up from Oden, and this might be the final nail in Boxer's coffin. He might be about to lose this game right here, Mrs. Klazart. I suppose we have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, because you can see that he's got this massive attack going, and Boxer doesn't seem to have much to really be able to cope with it. Meanwhile, Oden seems to have control of most of the map, and his economy is still in a very strong position compared to that of Boxer's. And really, and another nuclear weapon coming down, this time doing significant damage to the expansion at the... to the natural expansion at the 7 o'clock position. But the problem for Boxer, you see, is that Oden has just got too many units, and he's got too much technology on his hands, because he's using this plague that he's casting over those red units, and that's doing significant damage. He's also forced Boxer to lift his command center at the 3 o'clock position. So Boxer, he is hanging on in this game, but it does look like Oden might almost be in a winning position here. It's just, anything could happen, really. Because Oden has still got expansions all over the place, and Boxer doesn't seem to have a lot of army on the ground. Looks like he's making an attack now to try and take out Oden's economy at the 7 o'clock position. But you can see this massive stream of white coming across the map, which is just a massive sized army from Oden's. And I think when that comes in and hits Boxer's base, he's going to find that he's not going to be able to stand up to it.
Right.
I mean, can you see clearly that Oden seems to have those big ultralisks and all those Zerglings? He seems to have many more units on the ground in terms of his army size.
Yeah, I suppose that much is apparent.
But
I just wish that they would have a big fight.
Well, this game has been a little bit more of a seesaw battle, but Boxer has now gotten a drop off at Oden's base at the 1 o'clock position, and Oden doesn't seem to have a lot of army there, so Boxer's going to be killing a lot of Oden's units, but Oden looks like now he's going to make him, so Boxer's continuing to do a good job of hurting Oden's economy, and now he's trying to take this hatchery down. He managed to kill the hatchery as well, but now Oden's coming for the killing blow. He's tired of having this back and forth game, and Boxer doesn't seem to have a lot to defend, and now Oden's inside Boxer's base almost. It looks like this might be the beginning of the end.
It certainly looks like it, and it looks like Oden attacked at exactly the right time. Because I think that it was a point in the game when he seemed to have the advantage.
So what do you think, I mean, despite your limited experience with the game, if you had to say that, if you had to venture an opinion on why Boxer lost this game, what do you think that would be?
I think that he let Oden harass him too much early on, and, you know, let Oden damage his economy, I suppose, while Oden managed to keep expanding. So when the time came for the final battle, he just lost.
So
or he will lose, I think.
So do you feel basically that, and it looks like GG right now, Boxer is GG, so Oden has won that game. So you feel basically that Boxer played a little too timidly in that game?
I think that Boxer was maybe a little bit overconfident because he didn't seem to retaliate to Oden's attacks earlier on, which I think that he should have done, and put Oden at a little bit of a disadvantage too, but he just continued defending himself and building, and Oden was able to do him a good bit of damage with that quite early on, and I think he just never recovered from that.
Well, I have to say that's some great analysis, Mrs. Klazart. I would probably disagree on overconfidence. I would say probably it's more underconfidence, that he played a little bit too defensively, but nevertheless he has unfortunately lost that game for his team, and Samson Khan take the first game versus the Korean Air Force. So thank you guys all for listening, and a big thanks to Mrs. Klazart for agreeing to do this special guest commentary. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and if we get some good feedback, maybe we'll be able to rope her in for another one sometime. Thanks for listening. This is Klazart.